First confession highlights. Poverty is the worst thing I faced in my life. It pushed me into debt work. Still can't believe how I sacrificed my mother and made my son a goblin. This following confession of mine should be a lesson to many. My son was changed to be an odd-looking thing with long beard. He is now my source of income. But please, uncle and your listeners, don't ever try it. Every morning the odd-looking short man comes to my house and... Hello viewers, welcome once again to another educative episode of African Confessions HD, right here on Extraordinary Africa. My name is Solution Uncle. If you're still new, in this show we publish a lifetime confessions. Usually we publish anonymously for their own safety reasons. Listeners, you're having a challenge, you're having a problem, don't go to the forest and commit suicide. Feel free to share your story with us. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Freely send your confession to our WhatsApp number +263 775 597 +263 775 597. Today in this video we have two confessions. The first confession of this man who is a son who was changed in a ritual to be a goblin, and the goblin is now the source of income for the business person. We'll be reading through that confession. The second confession is of a woman who is confessing, a top church leader, but confessing of killing church congregants all over these years. We'll be reading through that confession, but before we get into the confession, there's a special announcement. Fellow listeners, we will be reading the best comment from our previous video in every new upload starting tomorrow. So make sure you will be there. Without wasting much of your time, let's go straight into the confessions. How are you, Solution Uncle? Please hide my identity when you post. I killed my own blood for wealth. I killed my own blood for riches. This is what I did to my second born to get this wealth. I am owning estates because of the blood of my child. Now I am struggling to get a son who will take the inheritance. The only son I have was killed in that ritual. Here is my background. I am a man from Limpopo. I grew up staying with a single mother who was a hustler. This was after my father died. My father is said to have been a bus driver. He just went out of the country and started driving buses for a certain company somewhere out of this country. And it is said he returned in a coffin, which shocked men. A person who was healthy and good looking by the time he left the country. No one has enough evidence and knowledge on how and what caused the death. So after my father died, Mom used to take care of me and my siblings. You know, life in the ghetto. We grew up struggling, but Mom was trying by all means. No government grants to someone who came to South Africa illegally. So there was no government grants. There was no support from any man, support from any organization. Mom used to do her own things. She wasn't a citizen of South Africa. She was a person who just came to South Africa illegally, started dating a South African man who was later to be my father. Dad died out of the country. So staying with my mother was not easy. At one point, mother started feeling sick. I have to go and hustle for the family. At some point, Mom was relying on me. She was living with HIV and AIDS. So most of her time she was sick, struggling, not enjoying life at all. I started having friends from other areas. We have been together with the friends. At a certain point, Mom officially told me that she can't pay my fees anymore because she is not affording. That's when I started having these friends because they were not going to schools. We started going to drugs, planning to rob at a very young age. I was a breadwinner. There was nothing my mother could do. She was sick. Because of that, there was no problem. She just accepted anything I came back home with. And it was my target that I should go back home with something for my mother and my sibling. With time, I started working for this man. I thought maybe I should quit doing unfaithful things. After some time, I was arrested after we tried to rob a supermarket. I was released because of age. The owner of the shop felt pity and offered me a job. That was after he heard my story. We became close. Because I was there with the man for some time, the man at the end started telling me his secrets. He was a business person. Most of the people knows that person. He was a musician and also an actor. My duty was to clean his cars, and with time, he let me have a driver's license. I was now his driver, accompanying him to business meetings to different places. We were together, so spending more time with this man, I learned a bad lesson, because in each and every car I drove him, there was a cooler box I was not allowed to open. I got used to it. As people travel together, at the end you'll see a chance to look. If you want to look, this is what happened to me. I was curious, so I had a chance, opened the cooler box, discovered an unusual thing. I won't tell you that thing I saw because I might be sued. I saw a thing I've never seen in the cooler box. He came and noticed that I have saw something in the cooler box. He started confessing to me, "Young man, do you want to be like me? I want you to be like me. I want you to be successful like me. You just have to be strong enough." Later on, he exposed everything to me. So it was simple. You should sacrifice a child. The child will be controlled by the cult. After 2 more years together, I get married. After marriage, we planned to go to Sudan as we promised each other, where the businessman takes charms from. We went there. I slept with an old woman in Sudan, and when I returned to South Africa, money was everywhere in my room. Now I have businesses. My firstborn is a girl. The secondborn was a boy. One day, I was called by a stranger using a number from Sudan. The person was speaking in my language and said, "You have to pay back or else you will be dead." I was shocked. I couldn't believe. I asked the businessman, my former boss, "What is that?" And he said, "Yes, you have to pay back. That's how we do it." So I accepted. By that time, my wife was pregnant for our secondborn. Later, she gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. The next day, I started having a daylight dream, traveling to Sudan and meet the healer who we did the sacrifice with. My newly born baby in the dreams. I woke up in the afternoon, but I still remember in the dream, I gave the newly born baby to the healer who helped us in the sacrifices. It was around 4 p.m. I was told that the child is normal. Now, the child is coming to my dreams, looking like an old person, older than me, like my father, like my great-grandfather. But that same child, we are staying with him in our house. My wife does not know. This is how I get this goblin. Now it's demanding everything. It's causing havoc to us. We are not sleeping in the house we build. We go to lodges, me and my family. We are not enjoying the riches. This is my confession. I send it to you so others can know what is good and what is bad. Please, what you have is enough. I am a very good example. I am struggling after using Juju. Juju is not good at all. Solution Uncle, I beg you to tell your audience they should be very careful because there are friends who are here to ruin your life. So you have to be very careful in life. This is what I am facing. My wife is now blaming me day and night. I'm not enjoying the riches now. She knows that I am the one responsible for our son's death. We are getting old and failing to have a baby boy also. The one God gave us, we sacrificed. Please, Solution Uncle, notify me when you post. Hide my identity. Don't forget that even long comments I will read. Please do not scold me. I regret even myself. I never thought I will never have a son. Please, whatever you do, don't sacrifice a human being or anything. This is my lesson to you. Solution Uncle, please hide my identity when you publish. I usually go to church pretending as if I'm a Christian, but there's a lot of dead work I'm doing in the background. I was initiated into a witchcraft group by my parents. I grew up in there, but I wanted to go to church, especially when the demon was not active. The demon is active sometimes, sometimes not active. This is my background. I am a woman in my 50s. I grew up staying with my parents and my siblings. My mother was a witch, and when I was still around 10 years old, I started dreaming at night, going to the graves, digging a star to eat. That was my lifestyle. When I was at an older age, I started to notice that something was wrong in me. I started noticing that I was different to other kids, but I liked to go to church. These two things clashed in me. At some point, I have dreams when there was a tug of war between forces, all saying, "Come to us, our child." And at the other side, I see angels chasing them away. After such a dream, the next morning I was to be mental ill for the whole day. That was the punishment I was to be given by the witchcraft group. So listen, uncle, now I'm in my 50s. I've killed a lot of people. I'm active in church. They know me as a very special person, but that's not what I am. At this age, I've killed 3 kids I've gave birth to. I'm only left with 1. I killed neighbors, workmates too. I killed so many workmates. They know me in church, but something is eating me up. I want to be a church person completely. Can it be done to me? After sending you this confession, I know I'll be in trouble, but please, is there anyone who can help me? I want to quit all this evil doing. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Extraordinary Africa. May God continue to bless you. Don't forget to comment. These people are struggling. They need our help. To the people who confessed, thank you as well. We have learned from your story. Sometimes in life, we learn from other people's mistakes. Sometimes we learn from other people's mistakes. So that's it, life. We need to be very careful. The devil is at work. It's just a reminder. We need to pray everywhere we are. This is one of the comments in our last videos. The minister forces his chocolate into me before meeting crowds. Latest African confessions. There's a person who was saying, ask your friend to contact the police on your behalf, and ask him if you can contact police. And when your friend borrowed you a phone, try to contact your family. Ask them to come rescue, please, and pray a lot. Cry. Weep in front of God is for the first confession. That was a comment we received in one of our last videos. Very educative. Almost start a heavy jute fasting and pray that fire of God will consume that evil minister easy. You're being used as a ritual. Go to the Nigerian embassy in South Africa for help. Once you fast and pray, move forward in faith. Go straight to the embassy. That was some of the comments we received to the confession. The minister forces his Tokoloche into me before meeting crowds. Like I said before, I read the confessions. We will be reading best comments from the previous video in our new upload. So don't be skipped. Let's help these people. Let's contribute together. Extraordinary Africa is not my personal company. Extraordinary Africa is for all of us. It's our channel. It's not my channel. That's it. And listeners, a repetition of words. We need to pray. I'm sure you now know that the world is rude. The world is so cruel. The devil is at work 24/7. We need to pray. When we wake up in the morning, let's say, God, thank you for this new day. Midday, let's pray, thanking God, the Heavenly Father, the Creator of heaven and earth, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, the Father, the Creator of everything, the King of Kings. We need to pray. We need to pray Him. Before sleeping, Lord, safeguard me. Put me in your own hands, because the devil wants to ruin my life. So if we put ourselves in the hands of our heavenly Creator, nothing will happen to us. Midnight cough, let's wake up and pray. There is 7 days in a week. Make sure that there is only even at least one day. Fast. You have a time to fast. If usually you have 3 meals a day, lunch, supper, breakfast, you can fast. You can remove one of the 3 meals and fast, because we don't need to relax. We don't need to relax. As well, our kids needs to know that there is Jesus Christ. They need to know that. Let's teach them. They should be afraid. They should say, I have not prayed today. They should start feeling like when they did not pray. So they should be afraid. Make them know that there's Jesus Christ. Make them that there's God, the creator of heaven and earth. Listeners, that was it for today. Until we meet again in other episodes, thank you so much for tuning in to Extraordinary Africa. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Until we meet again in another episodes. Bye for now.